Yep, he's done it again. He's done it again. Welcome to the channel. My name's Jennifer and these are my takes. Hi, so glad you're here. You're here to check out Ren performing Sick Boi with me. That's why you clicked on that thumbnail. I know it is. So before I do anything, big thanks. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for all of you who have been checking out my videos, and especially those of you who have been leaving comments for me. You've done so much to help me get better at this. You've been so supportive. You know, getting into this, I fully expected to see a lot of negative comments. I fully expected the my comments board to be just filled with all kinds of nastiness and opinions and just everybody telling me what I was doing wrong. To my surprise, it's been 180 degrees from that. I am mostly inundated with positive and supportive comments from people who want to help me make a better channel here. People just sort of reaching out in support if they've seen me get emotional in one of my video reactions. I've had just people educating me on the different artists that I review on this channel. I learned so much from you and what you guys leave for me in the comment section. And it was the comment section that led me to Ren and my the performance of oh gosh. So it was the comment section that led me to Ren and Hi Ren. And that was I believe it's the last video that I posted. I'm not 100% sure, but I haven't reviewed a huge number of artists since I started this channel, but I would have to say that Ren is the first artist who spoke to me personally, who got to me on a very personal level. And so I've been very excited to check out more of his stuff. I wanted to do some deep dives on his videos, but because I've gotten so many requests in the comment section, so many requests from you folks to do more Ren videos, I have been holding back and saving them so we can share that experience. I can share that deep dive with you. So again, I thank all of you who have been checking out my videos and just, you know, interacting and giving me feedback. Thank you again. With that out of the way, let's talk about what we're going to be now. So today we're going to check out Sick Boi by Ren. But before we do, I just want to mention, if you've seen my reaction to Hi Ren, you'll note that it was a very strong reaction from me. Definitely the strongest, the most emotional reaction that I've experienced so far in doing these reaction videos. So stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to add in some additional commentary to my review on Hi Ren and some thoughts, a lot of thoughts that I've had after that review or that reaction. So if you like these videos, if you like my videos and Jennifer. So if you like my videos in general, please hit that subscribe button. It helps the algorithm. It helps more people see these videos. It expands the community and makes YouTube a better and more friendly place. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit the notifications button. And without further ado, let's check out what we're here to see today. It's why you clicked on the thumbnail or whatever link it was that you clicked on to get here. So as I mentioned, we're going to be watching Sick Boi by Ren, and I have tissues ready just in case. So let's see how that goes, and without further ado, let's check out Sick Boi by Ren.
Hi Ren, thank you for coming in today.
Thanks for seeing me.
Looking at your file here, it seems there's a very apparent interplay with your emotional state in your physical body. Have you ever heard of the trauma response?
I don't think so.
Basically, our bodies can get stuck in a negative feedback loop. Our subconscious can repeat patterns from the past, which can have a pretty drastic downstream effect on our biology. Essentially, your mind is making you sick.
Yep. He's done it again. He's done it again. He's already sort of reached right in and plucked a heartstring. So let's see some more. Well, if he wants to make me uncomfortable, he's doing that.
Sick boy, bitten by a tick boy. Looking for that fix boy, anabolic steroids, stem cell. Poster boy, pass out. White noise, quick fix, snake oil. I'm about to break, boy. Oh, what a shame, he's in pain. Have another go. Take another pill, here, take a couple more. Let's see how you're doing in another week or so. You'll be feeling worse when the side effects will show. Derealization, medical patient, losing patience with the process. Walking hand in hand with Satan, complications with the medication. Inflammation, dehydration, inhalation, aggravation. Building up a toleration. Drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown, soccer, drown. I've been feeling like I'm drowning with my feet upon the ground. I've been screaming, I've been shouting, but I never make a sound. I've been looking for a way out, but I always seem to drown.
Is this all making sense, Ren?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. What I propose we do is we try to pinpoint the exact experiences from the past that are keeping you stuck. What can you tell me about your childhood?
I can't really think.
It's okay if nothing comes up right away. What I'd like you to do is take some deep breaths with me. In and out. In and out. Good. Now tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
I feel like it's not me, it's the world that's it. We're given everything we need and we commoditize it. We consume, we destroy like we're parasitic. Science tells us that it's suicide and still we commit. I'm not sick, we are standing on a cliff in the name of progress. We jump off the precipice. I'm not sick, I'm the virus, you're the virus, hypocrite. How can you sit there with that smile on and tell me that I'm sick? Sick boy, looking for a fix boy. Push it down in public, quick pose for the pick boy. Record label meetings that commodify your gift boy. Why you so upset? Don't you wanna be a rich boy? Fuck no, industry is cutthroat. I've been doing bits by myself, swimming backstroke, walking on a tightrope, rapping with a slit throat. The way that we persist is like the ending of a bad joke. As the people evolve, we're complacent to assailants and we do what we're told. Counterintelligence, a sight to behold. Rape the earth of all resources and we bleed it for gold. And we bleed it for wealth, we bleed it for fame. But when you bleed it, can you tell me what the fuck will remain? And I bleed in myself, I bleed in my brain. While I'm bleeding, I'm the reason, cause I'm doing the same.
Okay, that was much shorter than Hi Ren. Which is probably a good thing because that was a big dose. Pardon the pun, that was a really big dose. So didn't cry. Definitely got uncomfortable. Very squirmish. Very squirmish. Why is that? Well, not because I identified so much with his particular mental illnesses or his Lyme disease. He definitely spoke to the Lyme disease and the mental health issues he suffered from. Not to say that I haven't had my own mental health struggles along the way. Who hasn't? You wouldn't be human if you haven't. I have a family member. I'll just leave it at that. I have a family member who has had very serious mental health struggles. And I've been in a position for a number of years to observe the medical and mental health treatment that person has received. And that's part of the reason High Rent struck me in the way it did, because it really rang that bell. some of the things that he talks about in High Ren, you know, that from the artist's perspective, those things spoke to me as well. And it was on those two levels that High Ren really connected me to Ren. This song, however, definitely very different from High Ren, at least to me. They're both, you know, he raps in both of them, or one, and you know, he plays guitar in one and not the other. I'm not going to try and pigeonhole him or say he's this genre or that genre, because he's just an artist and he can't help but put out what he puts out. It just comes out. So where am I going with this? All right, let's backtrack. So backtracking, this particular song seemed I'm gonna have to go back and really reanalyze the lyrics, because that's one of the struggles I have when I watch some of these videos. Is it's too much at times for me to take in all at once. I'm sometimes so struck by the visuals that I can't get the words, or sometimes the lyrics are so, you know, get me, that I'm not appreciating the visual artistry of what I'm watching. So often I have to watch these videos a couple of times to really find out what I think about them. So I got little bits and pieces of lyrics in this one. Going back to the family member with the mental health history, I love the pig mask. The person in the pig mask and the gloves representing, in my opinion, I see it as representing the mental health industry as a whole. I'm not saying that the every single person that is in, you know, in the mental health field is a bad person. I'm just saying that in my experiences along the way, a lot of shenanigans, a lot of snake oil salesmen, as he says. Definitely no winners. Definitely students, and definitely victims. In any case, Ren, again, he's an artist. He's talented. I've stayed away from, as I mentioned, I've stayed away from checking out a lot of his videos because I'm saving them for this format here. But I have watched some of his videos where he's done some live performances, some street performances, and he does a lot of, or at least what I saw, a lot of guitar and voice, you know, acoustic stuff in a reggae sort of Bob Marley style, which I absolutely love. So Ren, you got a new fan. I'm all in. And just thank you for what you share. It's quite a lot, and it's quite generous. So kudos to you. Keep doing what you do, and don't let them break you, young man. You're special and you're a talent. So as I teased at the beginning of this video, I'm gonna go into a little bit more, or I'm gonna go a little more in depth into the High Ren video reaction I posted a couple of weeks ago. So I've got my reaction queued up here because I thought that maybe I could buzz through it and sort of share, maybe give you guys a little bit additional information to things that I couldn't or wouldn't say at the time. So one of the first things that really struck me in watching the video was I didn't know what kind of music to expect. I just knew that Ren was known as a rapper. And so for him to sort of open up with acoustic guitar, with a little bit of a flamenco sound to it, and as someone else pointed out in the comments, a very inexpensive, apparently, nylon string guitar. Um, Again, a super creative choice, and couldn't the amount of thought that went into that. I'm sure there was actually no thought that went into that. I'm sure that he got the idea came to him in some sort of creative inspiration. His inner editor said yes, and he made that happen. But it's sort of the sound of it sort of put you on edge from the beginning because you were hearing this beautiful acoustic guitar, but it was not out of tune, but it had the sound from the string. Um, so then he goes into the I don't know what to call it, but the sort of no, it's not the singing with words, but a vocal sort of yodeling thing that he did. And then so again now when that started happening, I was like, oh okay, we switched gears again. Um, we start out with the pig man and the mask and the gloves on the wheelchair, and you're kind of like, what's going on here? This is kind of creepy, freaky. And then all of a sudden, we come in with the guitar and the sort of dichotomy of the sound to the type of music he's playing, and then we get into this yodeling. Um, so, and then it happens. The two sides of him separate, and they start to speak to one another. And the conversation that they have is incredible. And as he mentioned, Eminem did it. Somebody else did it with a guitar. But he didn't do it like they did. And imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. So I applaud him for going with it. Because he definitely made the idea his own. So much of what he said, both sides of Ren, in that were conversations that I've actually had with myself as a creative person. The obvious discussion or mental health issues and mental health, just everything around those two words. So he spoke to me, that song really got to me on the creative level, that inner dialogue he was having with himself as a creative person, not to mention the inter dialogue he was having with himself as, struggling with mental health issues. I have a family member who has suffered for a very long time with mental health issues, and I'm fortunate to say that I'm not going to say that I'm perfectly healthy. I'm not going to say that my mind is 100% right. I'm a creative. I'm an artist, so it could never be actually 100% all right. But I have been blessed in that the a lot of what runs in the family stopped with me, or I should say, I either I am better at managing my own mind, um, or I was blessed and I don't have those mental health issues that I very likely could have. So I count myself very lucky. But getting back to the original point, in having that family member and other family members too who have struggled, some of them lifelong, um, whether they're sharing their illness with you or not, if you're paying attention, you can see the struggle, and it's horrible. And if they are dealing with it and they are seeking help and they are being treated, that can be horrible. It's horrible to watch from the outside. I can't even imagine what it's like to be that ill and to ultimately be an experiment to people. Not to say that there are not great mental health professionals out there. I'm sure there are. I just know that in my family members' experience and my own limited experience, it's a lot of shenanigans. It's a lot of snake oil sales, and a lot of people apparently beholden to drug companies ready to just pop pills in your mouth. um, and I'm kind of one of those people who believes in talking about things, talking through things, getting them out, and instead of, you know, stuffing them down with some pills and something to get your pills down with. That seems sort of counterintuitive to me. So back to the music video. So one of the more impressive things about the video is how he managed to keep the two sides of himself so separate and give them each such a distinct voice. The man can act. Has he done any cameos yet? Because I have a feeling he's one of those creative people who can probably do just about anything he tries. Maybe not perfectly, and maybe so. Maybe he can ace everything he touches. So his ability to give those two sides of his subconscious or his inner voice, whatever you want to call it, to give them two very distinct voices, two very distinct performance modes, that made the immersion made the immersion into the experience go that much deeper. That's what it pulled you in, and it made the struggle real. It made the struggle real. So also speaking to the dichotomy or the two sides, the dark and the light, the conversation with self. Some of those lyrics felt like they were pulled out of my own brain. I've heard of imposter syndrome in the past, sort of in passing. So it was in subsequent readings that I learned a little bit more about what imposter syndrome is. And oddly, the word keeps kind of popping up in my universe all over the place now, kind of like when you get a new car and all of a sudden the car that you own, well, it seems like everybody else has one too. Anyway, so it really felt like a lot of those lyrics were plucked right out of my own conversations with self. As a creative person, I've been a creative person my entire life, or at least as far back as I can remember, in any creative outlet that I can get my hands on. Because I've never actually mastered a single art, but have dived into so many different and can actually, produce art in a number of different media and format. It's one of the things that has me doubt myself at times, that I'm meant to be a creative, and the distractions, they come so easily, they come so quickly, they make you question your veracity, your passion, your everything, because as a creative, I eat, breathe, and sleep it. So to question, doubt what you eat, breathe, and sleep, and what you think makes you, one of the aspects that makes you you and makes you a little bit more, a little different from the next person, or one of the things that makes you the individual and special person that you are on this planet. Because hey, aren't we all special and individual on this planet? Or are we all one living organism that are, I mean, wow, let's get existential, right? No, not today, not right now, too much. But let's circle back and get back into my thoughts, some additional thoughts on Hi Ren. So when I go back and I look at my reaction to the video, I can see it's obvious to see which different parts of the lyrics or the different parts of the song sort of hit me more emotionally than other parts. And again, the song was speaking to me in two different levels, at least up front. One being, again, that mental health conversation, and the other being my own inner struggles with the creative self. It made me sad. It also made me very sad because to think that someone as talented as him should also struggle with such darkness, and all of it through no fault of his own. Um, it just it made me sad for him. But then, as an artist, you know that if you don't struggle, you can't create, because struggle is such a part of the creation process, or such a struggle is a part of the creative process, for sure. For sure. I don't care if you've mastered your craft or if you've mastered your medium, you are still struggling. So it just made me very sad to consider his struggle on top of everything else. Oh my gosh. And then he addresses the music industry. He addressed that a little bit more in Sick Boi as well. But I read also in comments and a little bit of my homework after the fact that he had a record contract, but because of his Lyme disease, the contract fell through. And I would say things happen the way they're supposed to, perhaps, or things happen for a reason. And my own personal opinion, as I stated at the end of my reaction video, is that Ren doesn't need a big record company. They'll break him, they'll ruin him, they'll pervert him, they'll use him up, chew him up, spit him out. And that would be devastating. So I absolutely fell in love with Grace VanderWaal when I first saw her. I was watching videos here on YouTube and I saw her America's Got Talent video, her audition video, where she sang "I Don't Know My Name." And I was awestruck that this small child could sit there with a ukulele and put out such an incredible song that she wrote herself, and with such a clear voice. So I did a deep dive and I took in everything I could from Grace VanderWaal for a couple of years, because she ended up winning and she got her record contract and she got her Vegas show and she started putting out records and she started putting out music videos. And so one night I actually binged Grace VanderWaal from that first performance on America's Got Talent all the way through to what she's doing now. And I don't know the details. I'm just going to give you my impression of what I saw when I watched a chronological viewing of Grace VanderWaal from age 12 to, I think she's somewhere between 18 and 20 years old now. I think the music industry has ruined her. I think I definitely got the sense that she struggles with mental health issues and probably has her whole life. She's also a creative person. So she's bound and doomed to be a little bit crazy. But after seeing so many of her videos, her performances, some of her Instagram feed, I'm really convinced that they've broken her. They may, I don't know, I don't want to say that they've ruined her, but I didn't feel good about where she's at. I worry. I'm straight up worried. We'll just leave it at that. I'm worried about her and her mental state, and I hope she has good people around her who are paying attention and that she gets help and comes out of the darkness. And that brings us back to Hi Ren and the darkness and the just, I can't think of many creative people or young people who have started out their celebrity, their popularity, their craft when they were young and had that grow into a healthy, lifelong career. Um, insert Disney child actor, insert Nickelodeon child actor name, whoever you want to insert into this conversation here. Um, take your pick. A lot of people, a lot of children have been ruined in the name of art and creativity, and it's sad and it's wrong and it goes on. Glad that Ren is old enough now to have a better sense of those influences and whether they are good for him or bad for him. So, real quick, I want to apologize for the sound quality. I didn't realize until it was too late that I had recorded a huge section of video without my microphone being in the right spot. So, for that, I apologize. I'm still learning. I know I'm not going to be able to lean on that one for much longer, but give me some slack, will ya? I'm trying. The microphone's back. Hopefully I sound better and we can finish this conversation. So I think the most difficult part of that video for me personally to get through was when he starts, when he makes the point that in order to get rid of the dark side, there is no way to just get rid of part of you that you don't like. The outright acknowledgement, I am you, you are me, we are we, you can't kill me if I don't, I just, the so I know there's certain words you can't say on YouTube. So he's talking about permanently ending his struggles with himself by ceasing to exist. I don't I can't identify with that kind of ideation. I almost said the word. I don't identify with that type of ideation. Certainly, I know I've been, sad enough to where, not where I wished I was, where I wished that I ceased to exist, but where, I just kind of wished things were over. It's I don't know if you understand the difference. I know what I'm trying to say. But again, I know people and have been close with people who have really struggled with that kind of feeling, that kind of thinking, that kind of ideating, that kind of planning, and that kind of action. Personally, my thoughts on that kind of action is that it's the most selfish act a person can do. It's so in the moment, whether you've been planning or thinking about it forever or it's on a whim, it's the most selfish thing you can do. You're, regardless of who you are, regardless of where you think you are in the world or where you think you are in your family or where you think you are in society, there's going to be people left behind who won't understand and who don't deserve to spend the rest of their life sad, lamenting, worrying, asking themselves what they could have done differently. Because whether your actions are successful or not, people are left with a lifetime of those consequences. A lifetime. And therefore, you have stained them, you have marked them in a way, you have victimized them in a way, you have been careless with their hearts and their minds in the worst way. So again, to think that Ren struggled with that kind of ideation, or anyone has struggled with that kind of ideation, it makes me sad. It hurts, because to be so low where that feels like it's the only answer, I can't identify with it, so I can only say it just makes me amazingly, utterly sad to think that people are going through things like that, and that they're going through things like that daily, if not every day of their life, for days, weeks, months, and sometimes their whole life. So after his back and forth with himself, everybody comes together into one Ren, because we can't escape ourselves. All of those different sides of you live within you, and they're going to always be with you. So in the end of the video, they all come together. I don't want to say in harmony, but he gave me some clarity at the very end, when he spoke about his experience at 17, shouting out into an empty room that he would defeat the forces of darkness, and that he spent the next several years trying to live up to a statement that he could never possibly even be, like, can't even chip away at something like that. And so this constant state of struggle, turmoil, because you're not doing what, you've set out to do. His summation, the way he describes life in the inner turmoil as a never-ending pendulum that swings back and forth between the dark and the light. I mean, that's what life is. That's what the world is. Cycles, right? Swinging of the pendulum, it's a cycle. And you can't escape the cycles. You can't escape the cycle. But the pendulum, it never stops swinging. And my favorite line from his summation was that as the pendulum swings, the brighter the light shines, the darker the shadows are cast. And that is true in reality. It's true in physics, and it is true in everything. You can't have one without the other. You can't have shadows without light. You can't appreciate light without darkness. That's probably a better way to say it. You can't appreciate good without knowing what bad looks like. You can't appreciate beauty without understanding what's ugly. So the idea that he has, at an age of 33 years old now, been able to absorb all of that, and quite frankly get a hold of that idea way younger than I did. It's I think he actually taught me a little something. But the idea that he needed to relax a little bit, to soften his stride and not try so hard, because that just leads to you setting yourself up for disappointment, and the ability to relax and enjoy life a little bit makes it fuller and richer. So I have rambled on for long enough, I think. But if you stuck around to check out this part of the video, I thank you. and would love to know if you would like to ask questions, make suggestions, thoughts on anything that I've said in this reaction or any of my other reactions. Please leave those in the comments. And also please keep educating me in the comments section. I have to say, I think that's probably one of my top 3 favorite things about my YouTube channels. That's the education that I get from you fellow YouTubers. So keep it up. So that being said, thanks for checking out this video with me today. Keep the comments coming and keep sending me suggestions. Let me know. I've got some more Ren videos lined up, but I'd love to know, hear from you. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what video you think works next. So that being said, which is now like been repeated a number of times in this video, oh, sure. Until I see you again in one of these videos, peace. Have a great day.